What is a draft pick actually worth? Net wins by slot 1976 through 2025. Every June, the discourse around the NBA draft treats the top of the board like a lottery ticket and the back of the first round like a coin flip nobody bothers to call. But what does 50 years of draft data actually say about how much career value teams get out of each slot, picks 1 through 30? I ran every first round pick from 76 through 2005, 1,499 players through the net wins model, and averaged career net wins by draft position. The shape of the curve is not the smooth, gentle slope you'd expect from a value chart. It's a cliff, two outlier bumps, and then a long, flat plane. Pick 1 averages 78 career net wins, the clear high point of the board. Picks 2 through 5 hold up reasonably well, sitting in the high 40s to low 60s, with pick 3 at 61.1 actually edging out picks 2, 4, and 5, largely on the strength of one player we'll get to. Then comes the cliff. Pick 6 falls all the way to 28.7, a drop of more than 40% from pick 5. From pick 6 on, you're no longer drafting in the same tier as the top 5. You're drafting the next tier down, and that tier is enormous. It runs with two notable exceptions almost all the way to pick 30. If you smooth this data in a clean value chart, picks 9 and 13 wouldn't make sense. Both spike well above their neighbors. Pick 9 averaging at 40.9, higher than pick 6, 7, 8, 10, and 11. The reason is Dirk Nowitzki, whose 214.2 career net wins is the second highest total ever produced by a non-number 1 pick. Pick 13 averages 32, again, higher than several picks ahead of it. The reason's Karl Malone in 1985, whose 258.5 career net wins is actually the second highest total at any draft slot, period, behind only LeBron James at pick number 1. These aren't tier breaks. They're single all-time great players doing enough heavy lifting to bend a 50-year average, which raises the obvious question. If we remove the outlier, what does an average pick at each slot actually look like? Averages are abstractions. Nobody drafts 61.1 career net wins. They draft a person. So I went back through the data and found a real player at each slot whose career net wins total landed closest to that slot's average. Here's the board picks 1 through 30 translated into actual players. If you look at pick number 1, the average number 1 overall pick over 50 years isn't a top 10 all-time player, a Hall of Famer, or even a perennial all-star. It's Mark Aguirre, a very good player, a 3-time all-star, but not the kind of outcome that justifies the hype that comes with being picked first. The gap between the average outcome at pick 1, Aguirre, and the best outcome at pick 1, LeBron, is the entire story of why teams are willing to bottom out for years chasing that slot. Pick 13 tells a similar story from the other direction. The average pick 13 is Loy Vaught, a solid rotation big man, nothing more. The fact that the average at 13 is propped up to 32 only because of Karl Malone exists shows how a single outlier can make a draft slot look more valuable than it actually tends to be. Here's the stat that should worry anyone building a tank for the top pick strategy. Across the 50 drafts from 76 to 2025, the number 1 overall pick was that draft class best net wins producer only 10 times, exactly 1 in 5 years. The hits: Magic in 79, David Robinson in 87, Shaq in 92, Chris Webber in 93, Duncan in 97, LeBron in 2003, Dwight Howard 2004, Anthony Davis in 2012, Karl Anthony Towns in 2015, and Anthony Edwards in 2020. The misses are more interesting. In 96, Iverson went first overall and still got outproduced by Kobe Bryant, picked 13th. In 85, Ewing went first and Karl Malone picked 13th, ended up with more career net wins than anyone else in that class. In 2007, Greg Oden went first. Kevin Durant picked second, produced more than double Oden's career value before Odom's career was effectively over. And in 83, the best player in the entire draft, Clyde Drexler, went 14th. So what does this mean for how teams should think about the board? 3 things stand out. Picks 1 through 5 are a real tear, and pick 1 is the head of it, but best player available still wins more than the safest profile. The average outcome at 1 isn't dramatically better than the average outcome at 2 through 5. The ceiling is what's different. The cliff after picks 5 is steep and real. Treating picks 6 through 10 as still the lottery, still valuable, is correct relative to the back of the round, but the data says there's a meaningful step down from the top 5 pick to pick 6 specifically. From pick 14 onward, outcomes flatten into a long plane in the low 20s and lower, with 2 real spikes, 9 and 13, that are best understood as a transcendent player happen to land here, rather than the slot is undervalued. If you're picking in the teens or 20s, you're not drafting for a star, you're drafting for a Will Purdue, a Tony Delk, or Grant Williams. Useful players, role players, not your timeline changer. Next up, I'll be expanding the player library toward a top 50 to 100 all-time list, which should sharpen these averages further and let us look at positional breakdowns by draft slot. Stay tuned. NetWins is an original statistic developed at netwins.substack.com. The NetWins formula and all written content are original works, all rights reserved. Database is located at willf123 at github.io/MBA-net-wins. Thank you.